tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. Welcome back to another episode of Vampire Diaries, Season 6, Episode 18, I Could Never Love Like That. I'm your host, Roxy Striar. You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar, sitting alongside the fabulous chat mistress, Tiona Hobson.
Hey, everyone. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at the Tiona Hobson.
And, of course, the beautiful Katie Campbell.
Hello, hello. You can find me on Twitter at Katie Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's Campbell.
The amazing Sam Davidson.
SamD43. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram.
And our very incredibly special guest tonight, she plays Mama Salvatore on the show, Annie Wersching. Okay, she is our good girl gone vampire. That's what the shirt says, people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Annie, where can everybody find you if they want to follow you on social media?
Twitter is at Wersching, Wersching, and Instagram is at Annie Wersching, ANNIEWERSCHING.
Yeah, I have to say, we're thinking you're not as scary in person as you are on the show.
We'll see by the end. We'll see how we think then.
It's tough. I don't know, but not yet. And you guys can always find us at AfterBuzzTV.com, YouTube.com/AfterBuzzTV, where we're actually live talking right now with the chat mistress, Tiona Hobson.
Yeah, guys, let me know any questions you have. I'm in there. I'm doing it. I'm reading what you guys are saying. There's a big argument going on about Damon and Bonkai and how, there's just the love shouldn't happen because of all horrible things. But everyone's kind of horrible and killed people before, so.
And we will get to all of that. We will absolutely. And, of course, always on Twitter at AfterBuzzTV. Use the hashtag ABTVTVD. Yes, I know it's complicated, but you guys got it because you're the best fans of all time. All right, let's get into this episode tonight, which was a really amazing episode, especially with these flashbacks that we've got. The 1903 flashbacks. I mean, a little scary, a little creepy, but it's starting to give us more of a sense of what's going on here, and especially with Enzo's character, who we didn't know that much about, even though he's been on the show for so long. What did you guys think about the flashbacks?
I loved it. It's putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and that's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's just so much that Mama Salvatore, Lily over here, has to tell us. Just like but her story, though, in general, is kind of, I felt like, the writers probably wrote you in to come back to kind of tell a new story that will possibly begin soon or extend it, but the Enzo thing, we've all wondered why he's been there for so long.
Right, and now we'll probably find out.
Yeah.
I want to know about filming the flashbacks versus filming the current day shots. Was that like a different kind of technique? I mean, you're almost playing two different people.
Well, this was the first episode that Mama Salvatore was actually in plain day clothes. So more so, that was more strange because I began it in the code and all that. So
and texting using the iPhone.
Yeah, I'm learning all sorts of things. No, it's really fun. I love the costumes are amazing, and that outdoor set when the ships in the background, that was beautiful. Freezing, but
really cold.
So really cold when we shot that. Yeah.
It's so funny that we don't think about that at all. Mm-mm. You guys don't let on.
That's good.
Good acting.
It's the hand warmer trick. Yeah. So here's what we have going on. Basically, every time Enzo keeps telling us the story and he says, she's a monster, I'm sitting there thinking, seems like a pretty nice girl to me. Seems like an angel. Were you guys just waiting for the other foot to drop? Or
No, because we knew that she was trapped in a prison world for a reason, and that she had killed a bunch of passengers on a ship, and that's a lot of people on one ship for her to kill. I love you, Annie, but Mama Salvatore, I was never trusting, and she was sitting next to me at the end of the episode, and I was freaking out, and then I kept looking at her. I was like, she's gonna attack me next. I don't know what to do.
I saw Tiona from behind, literally look. And she turned, she looked scared. She did.
Oh, I wish I would have done a Nina-esque thing to you.
Oh my God, you should have come. She would have cried though. She would have pulled a Katie.
I would have cried. Pulled a Katie.
Yeah.
But I never I knew that there was something more that she wasn't letting on, and it's always those really, really sweet and nice people who are actually sociopaths. Is that the right one?
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Enzo. Did he know that she was in the prison world? I don't think he knew. So I feel like Enzo's the type of character to kind of hold a grudge. We've seen it with the whole Stefan.
You mean did current day Enzo know? Because at that point, in 1903, she hadn't been in the prison world. You mean today Enzo telling?
Did he know? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. It doesn't seem to us like he knew.
She's saying no.
No.
Yeah, to the best of our
He,
knowledge.
the last he saw her was, she was turning him, and he woke up to the ship with, she's gone, and then he opens the door to the Salvador's
And so
house.
he never knew that Stefan and Damon were your children, I'm assuming.
Yeah. No.
It was just a weird coincidence.
And there's a lot going on with this storyline, too, because I really believed Mama Salvatore when she turns and she says, listen, you can be a part of this. This is my family, and I want you to become a part of it. Let me turn you. Why would she have done all that if she didn't intend on actually taking him with her? I mean, I feel like something must have happened. The wheels are turning here. I'm trying to connect the dots. I feel like something must have happened where she had to get off that boat as fast as she could, and she had to leave him behind or something, because she even sent down fresh food for him. Here.
See?
She cared.
I'm a giver.
Which is why is Enzo thinking she's so, evil? Which is the question that you asked in the very beginning. I think that's because it's his nature to just hate and take that hate and make it grow bigger. We've seen it with Stefan.
Absolutely. I mean, is it just that she is that malicious that she really intended on leaving him behind, just getting rid of his consumption but then ditching him, or did something happen?
Well, he obviously has abandonment issues
Right.
in general. So he, someone finally tells him that they're going to take him under their wing, and when he woke up, she was gone.
We
So-
find that out about your character too, though, that you have abandonment issues, and there's a lot of theories out there. I mean, timeline-wise, we're getting a little confused, but we figured as of last episode that you guys had known each other at some point, that Enzo maybe had known you, but then there was a lot of rumors about you maybe being his mom, and whether you heard that a couple times?
I've heard that one.
Or whether that was possible, if you had already been turned, or what year that would have had to have been. And a lot of things in the flashback tonight made me think about this, because he says he hasn't heard that lullaby in a while, and instead of saying, oh, is that true, Lily says, I know. And there was just like a couple different vibes that made me feel like Lily knew Enzo.
Maybe she had been following him for a while, because she also was very aware of his situation and that he was an outcaster like her and her family. And so it could have been something that she'd been watching him for a while, maybe.
But not Stefan and Damon. Because when she changed into a vampire, she lost her motherly tie to them, and was that now put into Enzo, and that's why they're all drawn together.
Obviously now you know more about the storyline because you've read more scripts than we have, but at the time when you're reading this, what's going through your mind? Are you thinking that there must be more to the story? Are you trying to connect the dots like we are? Or are you just like, hey, I'm along for this ride?
Yeah, definitely along for the ride. And you never want to know too far ahead, because you just want to be playing the moment that you're working on at that exact scene.
Of course.
So I usually didn't know anything except for what we were doing.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I can't help it.
No,
every
there's
time.
always questions, of course.
Yeah.
It's
But what if your character, though, is plotting? Do you know what I mean? She knows what's going to happen, and she's plotting it and thinking it, and that's kind of the vibe that we're getting from Lily.
What do you mean that she knows?
That she kind of knew what she did to Enzo, and possibly the connection. I mean, well, she doesn't, because she's been in that little world or what have you.
She's a couple steps ahead for sure as a person. I just feel like she's always been like that. That's me putting my spin on your character.
Yeah, well, and I think in the next episode you'll learn a little bit more just about.
I can't wait to see that. I don't know. There's something about them being on screen together that makes me know this isn't the first time. And also, maybe there's more to Enzo's character than we're realizing. Is it possible that he could be one of these people and something is dormant inside him? Maybe does he have witch somewhere in him? He says tonight that he was abandoned when he was 4 years old in a warehouse. I didn't know that.
You know that. Yeah. We didn't know his roots.
We didn't know.
We don't know his mama.
And it's kind of nice to actually have this story with Enzo, because for a while there, I think we all felt like, what is going on with his character?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the other stuff that is going on with him. So he's got this girl, Sarah, who I'm also incredibly intrigued by. First of all, I say this every week, but she's so beautiful, and she's just like stunning to look at
Oh my
on camera.
God! And in person, you're
my
just
gosh.
like.
I know. It's like jaw-droppingly beautiful.
She's so pretty.
Just because they're both such attractive people, whenever they're on camera together, I'm like, Enzo, just kiss her. See how it goes. Just try it. Like, whatever, they can put it on the outtakes later. But anyway, so they're together, and he has her thinking that she's still on vervain, and he's telling her a story, and he's just going to wipe it from the memory, but she outsmarted him this time. Enzo, you're not as freaking smart as you think you are. Mm-hmm. And Matt stepped in and vervained her, and now she has the leverage, and I'm thinking she's going to take you down at this moment. What did you guys think of that scene in the car when she was like, or you can just do this, with so much attitude? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Talk about the scary one as Tiona tries to stab you with her pen. What were you guys thinking about this?
I liked it. I was interested in how she got the vervain. Obviously, she told us from Matt, but I liked that she had an attitude like that.
Yeah.
The attitude made me just kind of feel as though this is possibly not the first time she's done something like this, and that either she's done this before or she has something inside of her, whether it's witch, vampire, I don't know.
Girl, did you see what was hanging on her wall? Like, that was a creepy room.
Yeah, I know.
With all that art, something is inside
That's
her.
what I'm saying. Like, there's something up with her. She's not just some Virgin Mary that's been protected by, Uncle Damon or Stefan. I'm sorry.
So funny is that I don't even know how she entered this, because I'm up to like middle of season 4,
right,
and then just where we are.
Oh,
so I have
binging.
I have a chunk that's missing. I don't even know how Sarah originally came into the picture.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you, but
No.
she might not be the only Sarah that you will meet. There's a couple different ways she comes in. But it is interesting because her character seems to be now here for somewhat good. Mm-hmm. I was thinking maybe she would be here and then gone, but she's sticking around, and now we're trying to send her out the door, but I don't think it's the last we're going to see of her. Mm-hmm.
It kind of surprised me, too, that she was so confident in it, because she is still a human, and instead of being scared of, this vampire, you took him down and you stabbed him, but then my first reaction would have been, okay, go find Matt, get someone for backup, not try and manhandle a vampire by myself.
Exactly how I felt. She was too confident in what she was doing.
But does it have something to do with the previous week when Caroline told her, don't be scared that he tells you he's a vampire? So it's still lingering in her mind?
I don't know. And yeah, she had been, Stefan had told her, when you hear vampire, you don't freak out too, I think at some point. Everybody had been telling all these things, so I don't know at this point what's compulsion and what's not. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, she thought she could tackle this guy. So she does. She ties him up. She puts him on the couch. She thinks she's in complete control. Obviously, we know that vampires pretty much are just like, ha 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 ha, let me break out of these chains. But the problem with all of this was, even after he does break out and we think that he's gonna either kill her, turn her, whatever, he just kind of lets her go, because she says, give me the choice you didn't have. And we see that side of Enzo that we do love and that we had seen before back in the day with Damon when they're burning in the thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my god, I forgot, because he's been so obsessed with Stefan and getting revenge and all this, that Enzo's actually a good dude. Mm-hmm. Was anybody else surprised to see the side of him again?
I just didn't trust her.
Oh, you didn't trust Sarah?
I didn't trust Sarah because she said, I promise I don't even care about my family. Yeah, whatever. You know that half of your family is some psychopathic vampire crew. You're going to be intrigued by it, and you're going to want to dig deeper, because you're going to want to know about your family and what happened to your mom and your dad, and all these questions are going to come up. So he could have compelled her still to not go away across to another country, like he said.
Yeah, he took all the vervain out.
Yeah, but he could have just been like, lose interest in your family. Live a normal life.
Yeah, I guess so. But
that wouldn't have been fun, because then she wouldn't have been around for next season, since we're losing Nina. Sorry, just said it.
We'll talk about that more. Of course we will.
I think, too, because the reminiscing and him telling her his story to her was making him feel like he was going to...
They were bonding.
Yeah. Well, and it brought out the softer side, remembering how he was treated by Lily originally.
Right, and how he's been treated since he was 4 years old. He really does. He shares his story with somebody, and I was kind of glad that he didn't compel that away from her, because I feel like all the time on the show we see these vampires that use humans as therapists, and then they're like, oh, good, now that I got that out there, let me wipe that from your memory. But it doesn't really work like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you tell somebody, it's nice to get it off your chest, but like, it's also nice to have them check in on you, remember what you actually said. So I'm glad that there is somebody out there that knows his story. I'm just a little worried about what she's going to do with it, or what she's going to do in general now that she's free to roam. Anyway, we will have to stay tuned for that. Let's move on and talk a little bit about our favorite little Steroline couple going on here. All right, these two have flown off the handle completely. They're playing games, and they're killing people over karaoke, which I understand because I'm a big karaoke fan.
Yeah,
I get that.
Yeah, totally get it. If I can scare someone to death, then you know what? We're gonna go karaoke tonight.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's a completely normal mid-20-something-year-old's dream.
Well,
right
and
there.
we know that she's a singer, Caroline.
Thank goodness we got to hear her sing
Yes.
again. Girl's voice.
Love her voice.
Like, do you guys just make her sing on set? Because that's what I would do. Just sing to me. Sing to you, girl.
I think they're fun to watch like that, Stefan and Caroline.
With no humanity.
No humanity? I think they're fun.
I completely agree, of course, because it's different. We get to see a different side of them. So they are there. They're doing this whole thing. They're ripping apart people, and they're singing while everybody's trying to study. How freaking annoying would that be if you were in college trying to study or whatever, and they came in? But that's okay. They're there, and then finally, Matt and Tyler, the two of them, come just jogging on in, looking all fresh and sweaty, and now we're gonna mess with Matt and Tyler. All that's going through my mind is, oh dear gosh, this show is willing to kill anybody, and that is so scary to me because we're going to lose one of them right now.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, we know that we are going to somehow lose Tyler soon, so I was like, oh, please don't be that Caroline actually kills him. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's saying it, kill me, and I'm like, you shush. Don't offer that.
He has such rage issues, though. He can't even control it at a certain point.
And it's just a matter of time until he's werewolfing again.
I know, which I thought was going to happen.
Oh, I know.
But now he's going, so what is he going to werewolf? Is he going to run away, or is he going to die?
Right. So we've got these two people. We got to turn one of their humanity on, and because they can't keep doing this kind of thing. So what are we going to do? We're going to bring in Mama Salvatore to help turn Stefan's humanity so that he can turn Caroline's humanity. Makes perfect sense in theory. A couple things go awry. Matt gets stabbed by Tyler. No big deal. They're just like, yo, bring him to the hospital. All right. Nobody's gonna offer him blood there. Okay, we'll get him there. We'll catch up with him in a minute. But in the meantime,
What is that?
I know. But in the meantime, we're like, all right, let's get Mama Salvatore, and she's going to fix this. So Damon's like trugging along with this plan, and Lily's like, slight problem. Don't care that much.
Yeah.
Mother of the year over here on the
Annie,
couch.
I'm looking at you and I'm just shaking my head. I'm like,
I know.
You know why I'm shaking my head? Because I was stalking you on Instagram earlier, and your kids are so cute, and you post about them all the time. I'm like, yeah, she cares. She's a great mom. Why can't you love these two boys right here?
No, but it is.
Love them.
It's hard to watch because we've grown to love both Damon and Stefan in different ways, but we love those characters so much, and we've thought about this mom that they lost and how sad it was for them when she died, but at least she loved them, and now we actually meet her, and the truth is, she has another family. She really doesn't. She left you guys. She wasn't coming back for you either.
But I left them because I loved them and I didn't want to eat them.
Right.
Yes, that's true.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we even think that you were coming back for them because you were capable of controlling this, but then we find out that you weren't. I still don't even really know what you were trying to do, but we know that that's not what you were trying to do.
Are we going to find out what you were coming back for, or was it just sort of you and your family were just moving back to America and you were going to avoid your sons?
bad coincidence.
As far as as I know, unless something else.
It's such a lesson to us how we look into every single thing. And when I see something, I'm like, oh, that something must be happening from that. Like maybe she was just traveling.
But we look into everything, but the things that we don't look into are the things that actually mattered.
I know.
You know, it's like, oh, that rock was orange over there. I wonder why it was orange. And it's like, actually, you know, Mama Salvatore's alive. Missed that one coming.
No, it's very true. That's why we have to go over every single little bit. So we do at AfterBuzz TV. So anyway, though, you're like, I don't really care that much. And Damon's like, all right, listen, lady, I don't care that you don't care. The great thing about this is you're an amazing liar, so let's just turn on the waterworks and make you cry a little about this. And I'm going to write you a speech.
Yeah.
Which it did solidify the bond of the brothers, that Damon knew exactly what Stefan needed to hear. And so in that part, I loved it. But I mean, I just had such a hard time watching you because you performed it so well. Like, your character was such a good actress.
Right. Well, it had to be so believable that it would be enough to snap, you know. It had he had to feel it.
Right.
Was it really you were just faking? Lily was just full on faking. That's what we can confirm.
As far as we in this episode.
It's not like she has some love deep down and it just came out.
Well,
this you don't know. The tear made me think otherwise. Annie was being real, being Lily, being fake, being old Lily, being real, current Lily. So that's what it was. You know?
And you should win an Oscar for that right now.
No, it's true, though. It was an amazing performance.
It was really good. It made me feel really sad, and especially seeing Stefan's heart break like that.
Well, and I personally think deep down, obviously those feelings are still there, but all she wants right now is her family out of the prison world.
Right.
So she's going to do, if Damon says the only way this is going to work and we're going to make this switcheroo and, you know, go through with our deal is if you bring it, Mama.
Right. And at one point, you really did love them and have feelings for them.
Absolutely.
So even if they're dormant, we do have a chance of seeing them again. Yes, you have another family, but hey, some families are really large.
And we got to see that single tear when she was hugging Stefan at the end. So that made me think maybe there is a little bit of Mama Salvatore still left in there that is Mama Salvatore.
This is something I've been thinking a lot recently. Throwback to with Isabel. Season 2. Elena's actual birth mother. It reminds me of your character because I know you just because when she did turn into a vampire, the humanity turned off and she wanted to, you know, really like, I don't know, she tried but she couldn't because she was just like a bad vampire. But we're still not quite sure on what you are exactly. I mean, we were told at the end of the episode.
We were told what? I don't know. I haven't gotten you figured out.
Sorry, everyone in the chat roll also corrected me because I said what was Lily coming back for, and it was to kill the Gemini Coven. Because we learned that at the end of the episode.
To kill the Gemini Coven.
That's right, with all of the head
right. As they were coming back.
We just haven't gotten there yet.
Thank you. Yes, that is true. She was coming back. They want to injure the Gemini Coven before the Gemini Coven takes them out. Yeah. All right, we'll get there. You guys are wicked smart there at home. Smart. That's how we say it in Boston. Okay, so anyway, she does come back. Whatever she does works. The fake tear, the real tear, whatever it was, it works, and we get that close-up on the eyes that they do when your humanity is turning back on, and it switches, and he's back. Were you guys thinking at the time, throughout this entire performance, he's going to look at her and just, like, snap her neck? Or were you thinking, yeah, she's got him?
I thought she had him. I thought you had him.
She had me.
Yeah. She had me.
Totally had me fooled.
I was like, Mama.
I know.
Sweet boy.
I know. That was really sad.
And I feel like that was ad-libbed by her. You know, Damon didn't tell her to say my sweet boy in my mind. So that's also a reason why I believe that there's a piece of her that we can get back.
And she did pull the knife out of his back.
Yeah.
She pulled the knife out of his back or whatever that was. The wood. You know, that's very motherly. If your kid has a big wood thing lodged in their back to pull it out.
Well, I mean, perhaps I always felt like in the flashbacks what we've heard is that she was more close to Stefan than she was to Damon.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, Stefan was so much younger, though.
Maybe that's
so I think
maybe that's her baby, and that's why she feels like she needs to really like figure this out and protect him.
I'm curious as to what's going to happen with the whole Mama Salvatore storyline, but I'm not mad at your character. I think it's your circumstances that you had. Like, you were abandoned, you felt that you were abandoned, you know, and I think that because of that, you found friends and a family of your own. And I believe that story. I think maybe they are crazy, those, I can't get it right, heretics. The heretics, but I think that you found family in them and you stick by that.
Thank
Katie's
you were listening.
Yeah. She's our resident lover of love.
That's kind of how I am.
But doesn't that also sound like a cult?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little
Because she
cultish.
was someone who was lost and needed a
I have
family.
always felt this
and
seemed very cultish.
yeah, and now they're going off and they have it in her mind that the Gemini coven is the enemy and they're going off to kill. It's very cultish.
I don't think
Katie
you can claim
there.
it's not. Maybe, Katie, it is what it is. Katie says yay.
Katie says yay.
All right. So anyway, because of the actions that took place, Caroline first she stabbed Stefan and then she ran because she doesn't want her humanity back. And she's like, "All right, I'm getting out of here. We'll catch up with her next episode because she's gone for the night."
She's smart.
Yeah, girl's smart. She is really smart.
Figured it out.
But meantime, we have to go to the hospital because one of us got really badly injured, and that's Matt. And why did it have to be the most stubborn person in the whole planet? He gets to the hospital. And Elena's like, "Oh, let me do the thing and give you my blood and just
In
do that whole
public,
thing."
by the way, she just doesn't care.
Well, she could just go around to everybody and compel them to forget, so no biggie. So she goes to give blood, and Matt's like, no blood. Yo, Matt, take the frickin' blood, man.
See, I agree, but don't you think if he actually did take the blood, we'd all sit here and be like, well, why do you hate vampires so much? You actually drank vampire blood.
Which
Totally.
is exactly why he didn't do it.
Yeah. Katie, it's so right. I mean, it's absolutely what I would have said. I'm not kidding. So I understand what they're doing, but when Tyler's like, "Take the blood," they're all like, "Take the blood," and I got it. I understood when he finally says, "I can't have it both ways. We can't have it both ways." I feel like him and Elena are on very similar pages with all of this.
I am freaking out about that.
I know.
I just had a
Epiphany?
Yeah.
What happened? Tell us about it.
it's that the show starts how it ends, how it started with Matt and Elena
That's
as
what I was
humans.
thinking
Oh, so
today.
you're thinking Matt and Elena are in game now.
That's what I was thinking today.
Oh, they're humans and they're
Whoa.
dating?
Well, I mean, if he chooses to be a human, that's his thing, and then they compel her. Sorry not to get into predictions, but perhaps the show is going to start end like it began.
No,
And
we need to send Lily to break it up.
Yeah.
I will just keep my face like this.
You're like, I need one of my sons with you. It's not right if it's not my son.
Yeah, I don't know. We will talk more on predictions about that, but for now, all we know is they seem to be on similar pages that you can't have it both way. Vampires are capable of very bad things by just flipping one switch, and she thinks it could happen again, and they have this heart-to-heart. Matt, by science, does get better. Joe comes and fixes him up, which is shocking because of the amount of blood that he lost. Just shocking, but okay, he's fine. Which I'm glad because I'm not willing to lose him right now. And then Joe and Elena have this big moment too, where we find out. Well, we knew Joe was pregnant, but Elena finds out Joe's pregnant, and Elena gets a little jealous. She's sitting there thinking about how she wants her own baby.
Well, she always wanted to be human,
Yeah, I get
have
that.
a family.
And she's always been a motherly figure
Yeah.
on the show, wanting to take care of people, even though she is the reason most people are in trouble in the first place.
Yeah, and who knows this about Elena and who sensed this and who overheard the conversation is obviously Lily. And Lily knows now that Damon has this cure. Do we think Lily's capable of using this against her own son? Do you think she could spill the beans? I don't
Depends
know.
on if my son does what I want him to do.
Yeah.
Which is to get your people out.
So what would you do, though, if he didn't?
We'll have to wait and see.
I'm like, she's doing so good right now because I know you just got back from filming the finale because I was stalking you guys
You
yesterday.
really are a vampire witch combination right now. Like between your boots and your shirt,
Yeah.
it is perfect.
Yeah. Really good job. I think she did it on purpose. Killing it.
I'm just gonna keep staring at you until you
get
get
something.
I'm trying and get a reaction out of something. I'm gonna say absurd things and just wait for it.
She's been in the industry a long time. She knows. Tight lips. I know. It's hard.
You know how long I kept my 24 death a secret?
Oh gosh.
Okay, I don't want to talk about it because I'm still not over that.
Okay.
I'm still not over that. Okay, so basically, we find out that she knows that Damon has this cure. The only person who doesn't know is Elena, and Damon and Elena have this moment where they're sitting there, and Elena's like, "But I can't, and we can't, and I love you," and he's like, "And I love you," and I'm just sitting there thinking, now's the good time to say it, Damon. I'm a huge Elena fan, but Damon, if there was a time, now is probably it.
Well, I was starting to tear up at this point, and I know if he said it, I would have cried because I feel
Shocked.
bad for him.
For Damon?
Yeah, I do. Just because he would just lose love, and I know.
You think he would, though?
He
I don't know.
told her that if she was human, she would be with Stefan, which is the right thing to do.
Oh,
That's not necessarily the truth. I mean, to me, that one scene of him not telling her is like gonna be a big freaking problem in the future. That he let it go that long, that far for her to state that. Like, oh, but I can't.
also, are you a 14-year-old in high school hiding pot from your parents? Do not keep the cure in your sock drawer. What is that? Like, she literally almost found it within a second by going to buy her own t-shirt. Like, hide that better. I'm just not going to put up with that. If that's where she finds it, I'm going to be like, well,
You deserve.
you deserve that.
Well, like I said earlier in the season, I think that there's something wrong with Elena after she wiped her memories. I
little
still
more
do,
wet.
because she opened the drawer and I couldn't tell if she was lying or faking it, but she just looked up and smiled and it looked like she saw it, but she didn't. It's like she just got a little dumber.
Did we decide if she takes the cure and becomes a human, does she get her memories back? Because I think that then the compulsion would go away. I think the way that it did for Lark when he became human again, I think Elena would remember everything about Damon, which would be interesting to see.
Which then he wouldn't lose her
Right.
initially. I mean, in like 50, 60 years, you might lose her, but you could have a good, solid 70 years together, Damon, you know, and just be happy with that. And then you can find a way to go kill yourself. If it really means that much to you, if you can't live without Elena,
All right.
then...
Well, he might not have to find a way because we have a big bad coming this season. A huge big bad that we learn about at the end of this episode. Lily has unleashed the beasts. She has taken the Ascendant. She has gone back to 1903. She has woken up these... oh, no.
that was in the flashback still. It was...
Oh, that was a
her
flashback
in
of the
ship.
Oh,
Because
well,
she's been at blood to get to the...
So she's taken the Ascendant. She has the capability of going back to 1903 to get them. She hasn't done that yet, but we see that there are 6 people waiting there. The heretics. I don't know why
like
that one's
politics,
so hard.
but heretics.
Heretics. The heretics. There's 6 of them. They are not only witches, but they're also vampires, which is the deadliest combination that we have never seen and tried to avoid.
So exciting.
I talked about this such a long time ago with my little sisters. I was like, what if there was a vampire witch? Why is that not possible? But then you think about Bonnie's mom,
Right.
right? So that is confusing to me.
And not to get into the originals, but I think Baby Hope is all 3 of the things.
Yeah.
It is possible. It's very rare. You know, we didn't think hybrids were possible, and then they were. So it is very rare, but we have found them, and they seem to be not the nicest crew, but they are Lily's family. You want to stick up for them a little bit here?
Hey, you know, they saved me. They were kind of like, they got me sober.
Wow, they're your sponsors.
So were they they were vampires or witches when you met them?
I started to get confused about what was the answer.
No, I get that. We'll have
Yeah, they
to-
said tonight that they were witches and I turned them.
Yeah.
Right? That was
Yes.
in tonight's episode.
Okay.
Witches and you turn them. You turn Enzo. You
But
turn
they
them.
were, they were witches like Kai.
Right.
So they could only cipher and get power from
Magic.
other people.
They could get power from other people who are magic.
Yeah, like they could steal other people's magic for
And now
a
they're
while.
magic.
But now
They can
they
steal from
can just
themselves.
steal, so they have an unlimited source. So that's the loophole in how we can have a vampire and a witch, because they didn't just have powers.
Right. Exactly.
Like Bonnie's mom had powers, and so she couldn't be both.
When we saw them jump out of the coffins, that was just a flashback of the ship. It wasn't you back there trying to save them.
Right.
Okay, so
I thought it was her going back, but it was just a flashback.
what I'm curious about is that when we first saw Mama Salvatore and she said, I can't leave my friends, and we saw them all giving up their blood for her.
You mean when they were dolls at the table?
Yes.
Reverse
the
Norman
dollhouse?
Bates is what I like to call it.
But did they really give it up for you to like have all the blood, or
We're gonna have to see.
Did you compel them?
Yeah. How did you become the one who gets to stay alive and awake? I mean, I guess she's the one who turned them in the first place. So maybe.
Well, she's definitely sort of the den mother.
Yeah.
She's sort of the ones that's caring for everybody.
House
and-
mom.
Yeah.
and pulling the
And I think they
blood
sort
out of them.
I mean, who knows? This could be proved wrong by writers that I don't, in future episodes that I haven't even, maybe it'll all be wrong.
Yeah.
But they had to pick someone,
Right.
that was still awake
So
in
who
case
better than
someone
Lily?
ever comes to rescue them.
Okay.
Right, and then unfortunately though, this is not everybody's plan because Joe's dad called him. He's a scary dude, and he's like, "Get that ascendant back before she goes back." And now, of course, we have our main issue where we've got one team and we've got another, and Damon messed up again and gave her the ascendant, which
But that's how we got Stefan.
Yeah.
yeah,
Without doing that, they wouldn't have gotten Stefan, so it's a sacrifice, and I mean, she lives with them. So, I mean, go steal it while she's sleeping or
I don't think she's
something.
stupid enough to hide it in the
Maybe I
sock
keep it
drawer.
Yeah.
She's gonna piece, I think, like fast. She's gonna go.
But she needs to either be the full. There was like a
eclipse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I need help. I need...
Yeah, it's what she said was coming up in a couple weeks, so that makes me think maybe it's during the finale. Notice I said that and then looked right at her, trying to get a reaction here.
We got a smile, and that's the best we're gonna get. I'm liking it. All right, so that ends our episode. We definitely want to get into some questions though that have come in from the chat roll about you and your character.
Oh, that's me. That's my.
We don't
turn?
have time for that many, but you got a couple.
Okay, sorry. Okay, first one from Move, so I can read.
Our chat mistress.
Joseph Boza wants to know, what was the impression like with the cast when it came out that Nina was going to leave the show at the end of the season?
When I came into the show, which was January, it was a known thing already.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, so everyone's known. People are good at keeping secrets, man.
I mean, I think everyone's deals are up at the end of 6, and there was, it was sort of a feeling that she probably was gonna.
Yeah, I mean, we
go do
talked
other
about
things.
it in News and Gossip early on in this season, how it seemed like maybe she was on the outs, and there was little hints, so it didn't come as that big of a shock.
I
Except for
was
Katie.
shocked. I read her Instagram post and I cried.
Yeah, I have to say that it was a beautiful post.
It was beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I was just I thought I was having a weird dream and then a nightmare, and then I wanted to wake up.
Wow.
Okay.
You went through some things.
I did. It's been a rough couple weeks for this one over here.
That's why we're adding in all these characters, though, so that we don't feel the loss of the other ones.
And I just want to say to the Vampire Diaries writers how they're tying all the storylines in together with Enzo and Lily and Stefan and Damon and Sarah. It's amazing because it's not gonna seem. I mean, I'm so sad to see her go. Honestly, I think it sucks, but it's nice that this story is going to continue on in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. We have time for a couple more.
Okay, so I forgot to write down who it was who asked this question, so I apologize. But they want to know, even though it looks like Elena is going to be taking the cure, would Mama Salvatore take the cure if it was offered to her? Do you think?
But then she would age.
Oh, yeah, like the
But
same
Mama
with Catherine
Salvatore
did.
doesn't know that because we found that out the hard way with Catherine.
Yeah.
And Mama Salvatore did not have a wonderful human life.
Right.
She sort of came into herself once she was accepted by this family and sort of had
And she had kids. She's done the human thing a little.
She would probably be on the fence.
Yeah. Okay. And last question, because we have to wrap up soon. Evie Dewdrop wants to know, is Mama Salvatore
Sure.
involved with someone in this crazy doll family? Like, you got a crazy boyfriend in there?
Involved, romantically?
Yeah, because
I don't know. They looked pretty hot, right?
yeah, for a couple of Stone Age people.
She's taking care of them, Maybe it's like a nurturing
Yeah,
relationship.
maybe once they have a little blood and get a little touch up, maybe.
Well, the show is about love, so you never know. It could be why she wants to get him back.
That's true. And honestly, we saw that they did take down Kai's blood a little bit, so she's thinking they're going to go back. She's going to go back and they're all going to be sitting there like kind of stoic, but I think that they're awake and they've taken Kai's blood and something's up. Yeah, we don't know what.
Kai could be turning into one of them.
Because he...
Guys, was that not the first thing you thought of when you heard what a heretic was?
Yeah,
Heretic? Now I'm saying I'm not going to say it right.
Oh my gosh, I really think that could happen.
Yeah. Oh my God. And now the Gemini Covenant's going to be in danger. So many things are happening. So many things. All right. I want to get a little I know we talked about Lily, but a little more into Annie for a second, because I know you're working on so many things all the time. So where can people find you? What are you working on? Talk to us.
Well, yeah, Vampire Diaries wrapped last night.
Oh my my gosh.
Yeah.
And you're here with us today, which is so exciting.
3 hours sleep. I was on a show this year called Bosch, which is an Amazon show.
Yeah.
And we just got a season 2 pickup, so that starts again in July. And
We love the shows that go online because we're an online-based network, so we support those.
It's really, really cool. Yeah. That's
Awesome.
And that's, next year, Vampire Diaries, hopefully.
Woo! We're keeping our fingers crossed for that.
Yeah.
No, because I'm loving your character, and I like seeing family dynamics on shows, especially families that aren't typical, which this one certainly is not, so that's really cool.
And also to the fact that we've heard about their mother back in the beginning.
Right.
So it's like actually bringing that character to life is amazing.
I know. I never thought we'd see her. Because why?
I mean, I imagined we would see Elena's parents, and we did briefly, but like not like this. I never, we saw Stefan and Damon's father briefly.
Right. On that note, we talked about it a little bit. We talked about it a little throughout, but obviously, as news and gossip, because we've been on hiatus, we are losing 2 of our primaries. We're losing Tyler, and we're losing Elena, and all of the other characters that Nina plays on the show, so the 15 of them. But I will say, Tiona, were you the one who was telling me this today about we don't know what's going to happen to them and how they're going to leave? So
it was actually Lily. I was reading an article from an interview that Annie, I just called her Lily, that she did where she was saying, people don't know how it's going to end, and
yeah, it's really frustrating knowing and having people be so. I mean, I understand being upset and angry, but some people are being mean,
right?
And to the rest of the show, and like wanting it to fail. That is, I don't,
Well, like you're saying, because we don't even know what's going to happen to them. We don't know if they're going to die. We don't know if they're going to leave for a little bit. I'm sitting here thinking, we don't know. They could, just because they're not series regulars anymore, they could pop in. She could still be dating Damon from far away, which is what I'm hoping.
The whole show could actually just conclude, and then the next season could be like a whole flashback into Damon and Stefan's lives before.
So a prequel.
A prequel. It could turn into a prequel. We don't know.
It could be like the originals, and Elena could body jump, and her spirit is just not in Nina anymore.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen, and that is frustrating, but keep your heads up.
And it's awesome.
It really
I mean, it's heartbreaking, but when I read it, I was like...
But
I just got the chills.
Yeah, so it's not going to be one of those finales where it's like, oh my god, this broke my heart in a bad way, and I don't want to watch this show again. Like, you're so pissed. I mean, are we going to be pissed?
I personally don't think so.
Okay.
Let's talk
of course, it's heartbreaking because
whatever happens,
the
happens.
woman and the actual actress is gone and all of that. But
let's get into predictions so we can talk about all of that. All right. So here's my feelings on this. Like we said, we don't know exactly, but I do think, yes, it will be heartbreaking. But I'm kind of excited to see what they do, because I think when your back's against a wall, you kind of have the chance to be more creative.
Exactly.
And I don't know exactly what that means, but I think the way that both of the actors have handled the situation, like writing the nicest things, posting all these Instagrams saying, like, TVD family, I love you guys so much, it made me think, like, this in no way was an issue of that. It was just like people move on in life and do things. So that was cool. 6 or, guess technically 7 years, because if you count doing the pilot and then waiting to see if you got picked up and then starting it, that's a long time in someone's life. What were you doing 6-7 years ago?
She's so excited just to see what's next.
Yeah.
She's so excited to change her hair.
Yeah.
She honestly, she said
no.
She told me that. Like, at the end of season 1, she was, daydreaming about the end of 6 when she could finally cut her hair.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's interesting.
So, you know what I mean? It's like she's been doing the same thing for 6 years, and she loves it, and they're literally family,
Right.
Yeah.
And all get along so great. All of them, by the way. All of them.
Really?
You guys get that? Did you pick that up? All of them get along.
Each and every one.
Or two. I get that.
Don't believe everything you read in the tabloids.
You're part of the family. Were they a welcoming family?
Very. Oh, my gosh.
That's
Ian
awesome.
is literally, there is no nicer person on the planet.
Really?
So cool. They're
That's
all so
awesome.
sweet.
Again, stalking your Instagram. I was telling Roxy, I was like, I just want to be a part of that family because it looks like so much fun out in Atlanta, just hanging out.
I want to go to the lake.
I want to go to the lake. I want to be taking pictures in between takes and
cool.
meowing, and it was just fun.
Let's talk about predictions for next week that we saw. So Stefan is trying to convince Caroline that his humanity is still off, and this is how he's going to get her to turn hers back on by like pretending, which is kind of what I thought he was doing this whole time. But now we're actually going to start seeing him do that. Predictions off that. What are you guys thinking? What are we going to see more of?
I feel like it might work at first, but she's gonna catch on. She's too smart.
She's sneaky.
She is.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree. I honestly, I don't wish. I love Caroline, but if they were to say she were to be one of the ones that were not going to continue the 7th season, it would make sense to me because it seems like she needs to turn around fast.
She's going down a dark path.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. But I'm excited to see it. She will turn around. We got it, girl.
I'm excited for her to finally turn it back on so that she can go through the recuperation phase of like dealing with what she did. The fact that she almost killed Matt and Tyler is not going to just flush away very quickly for Caroline, because not only did she date both of them, but they're both two of her closest friends that she was legitimately ready to kill.
And the fact that she lost her mom and then she took away other people's person. You know, that's what happens when you kill somebody. So trying to deal with all of that, and her and Stefan dealing with it together, and them getting closer together and more storyline moments. I'm in for that. Anything you can tell us? Any sneak previews just to be excited about the finale or next couple weeks?
Man, wow.
That your character will be in more episodes, so we can look forward to that.
Yes, no, definitely. And spoiler alert, I'm actually going to play Elena next year.
Oh my gosh, exclusive!
She's body jumping to you. I knew it. That's how we get her out. I love
Are you going to be
that.
on the originals next season?
I'm going to be in all the shows, every show.
Every single show there is.
Yep.
All CW across the board. We love it. Okay, well, Annie, thank you so much for coming in. It was amazing to have you. Tell everybody where they can find you in case they want to keep chatting.
At Wersching on Twitter, WERSCHING, and at Annie Wersching on Instagram.
Amazing.
I post a lot of BTS.
She does.
All
Check
about
it out.
We love the behind the scenes stuff. We love that here at AfterBuzz. T, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope at the Tiona Hobson.
Katie.
You can find me on Twitter at Katie Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's Campbell. Instagram at KatieCampbell13. And you can find me at youtube.com/KatieCampbellOnline. I do a weekly vlog.
Katie says yay.
Katie says yay.
So fancy. Sam Davidson, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, SamD43, and online at SamDavidsonEntertainment.com.
And you guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar. You can find us at AfterBuzz TV, AfterBuzzTV.com, YouTube.com/AfterBuzzTV, on iTunes, on SoundCloud. Give us that thumbs up, that 5-star. Make sure you tell us how much you loved Annie being on the show, because she really was amazing. And we will see you guys next week for episode 19. Because...
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.